CentralValleyTalk.com.
And welcome back to CentralValleyTalk.com. Let's talk business. Let's talk law right now with local attorney Reynaldo Pulido, who, guess what, is going to have his own show right here on CentralValleyTalk.com within the next few weeks. Welcome to the family.
Welcome. Thank you.
So this is kind of your easing into it, right?
It is.
See what it's like being behind the camera.
So we are here to talk a little bit about that. It's going to be, the network is going to be called Nuestro Valle Central. It's the Spanish version of Central Valley Talk, and we're excited about that. I'll be hosting.
So that'll be on all day, and you'll have one show on there, right?
Correct. I'm going to be hosting one show. It'll be Thursdays from 4 to 5.
Every Thursday from 4 to 5 on, well, do they go to CentralValleyTalk.com, or do they go to, or all this going to be worked out later?
I believe it's Nuestro Valle Central is the link, but we'll give you that information as it becomes available.
You excited about it?
I am. I mean, it's a little overwhelming. I have to commend you for the work that you do, because it's, it can be a little overwhelming, but obviously you have a lot more experience than I do. So,
you know what though? But as an attorney, you're used to talking with people all the time, right? And I'm guessing when you sit down with someone, you have to try to get them to open up about what they might or might not have done. So you're used to talking to people.
Yeah, it is. It is very similar. You want to be personable. You want to, especially when we're talking with our clients, we want them to feel comfortable enough to disclose the information that is relevant. Also comfortable enough to know that, as their attorney, you're not going to put them in jeopardy.
Client-attorney privilege, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You went to law school.
No, I read a lot of John Grisham books.
Yeah, he's an attorney. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but it makes sense based on his reading.
Yeah. Well, now, so that's going to be different for you, because when you have that kind of relationship with a client where the conversation doesn't go anywhere else, now all of a sudden you're having this conversation where it's going around the world.
Exactly. Kind of the opposite.
It is the opposite.
The idea, though, with the show that I'm going to be hosting is that because it is going to be good, it's going to be in Spanish. And it's going to be geared, obviously, for Spanish-speaking people, immigrants, to really highlight local people that have succeeded, inspirational people. And obviously, you don't have to be the president of a corporation. Maybe you own a lawn mowing service, or you own your own restaurant, to really show people where we come from. The Valley has very, very strong immigrant roots. And I think that highlighting the success stories of immigrants is very important.
Well, the Valley now is, I think, more than half Hispanic, right?
Exactly.
Well, so you won't have any shortage of guests.
I hope not. That's the goal.
Are you planning a big lineup for your opening show? Have you
We are
started to think
working
about
on
that yet?
We're working on. I know you're scaring me.
No,
because that's exactly what's hard and new for me. I've never put on a full show. So getting all those pieces together it's a bit of a challenge, but I'm very excited about booking the hosts. I mean the guests, and
you're the host.
I'm the host. You want to help me? ¿Habla español?
Poquito.
Poquito.
Well, it's just chatting with folks. That's all. Isn't this easy?
It is, actually. With you, I mean, you're very good at what you do, so it is.
The nicest thing is when you get to the end of the hour and you say, "Boy, that hour flew by." You know that you did a good job.
That makes sense.
You're not going to have any problem. You're going to be a great host. No, not at all.
I don't like to talk. I don't know.
Well, wait a minute. How can you be an attorney and not like to talk?
I do.
Did you ever get scared going up there in front of the judge?
Oddly enough, it's happened to me. I've been practicing law for about 4 years, so I don't have extensive.
Where'd you go to school first?
I started in Tulsa, University of Tulsa.
Okay.
People ask me why I did that. I wanted to experience the South, but when I got there, I realized it was Midwest. So I kind of missed my target.
Tulsa's not the South.
But it feels very much like the South. So I got the flavor of it. I also wanted something that was similar to Fresno, and Tulsa is very much like Fresno. Fresno is the Bible Belt, after all, of California.
Well, a lot of Okies came to the Central Valley from Oklahoma.
So I started in Tulsa, but I also finished in Southwestern, which is in L.A.
Okay.
In L.A. Those are the two schools I went to law school.
Okay. Now, you were talking about the courtroom and with the judge.
That I just started. So what I was telling you is that you asked me if I get nervous talking in front of the judge. Sometimes when I think it's going to go a certain way, it goes very smoothly. But things that I do every day, like make an appearance, I screw that up. So it's hard to tell when, you're going to trip up. You are on the spotlight, sort of like we are right now. So you're a little aware of, you're being observed. You're also being recorded, because this all becomes official record and public record. So it's odd. I mean, I've done trials and I don't get nervous, and then I've done a simple appearance and I stumble through my words. So,
I was called recently for jury duty, and I didn't get called for the jury, but I was there through. It was a big case. It was a murder case. And so they had called a huge jury pool, and we went through the whole process. And it was interesting watching the way the two attorneys worked. One of them was a real good old boy, just kind of talked very casually. He was really talking to everyone in the room because he didn't know who was going to be on the jury. And the other guy from the public defender's office was seemed to be kind of uptight, and I don't think he would have connected as well with a jury. So do you have to keep all that in mind?
You definitely do. When you're going in front of a jury, you're not dealing with the most sophisticated of people. I mean, or you really don't know what you're going to end up with.
Well, it's a variety of people in the jury box.
So they're there to impart their opinion based on their knowledge, their perception. And so, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, they will go with who they like or who they feel comfortable with. So I have a trial coming up, and it's a DUI, and so I'm already thinking, how do I get the jury on my side right off the bat when we're talking about a DUI? That's obviously not something.
That's the challenge, isn't it?
That's obviously something not everybody's going to want to do right off the bat. So you have to find a way to connect with them and relate to them so that when it comes to that final vote, if it's a close call, they say, well, this attorney seemed a little more genuine, or I kind of like him more. Even if they're not making that analysis consciously, in the back of their mind, I think they're making that analysis.
Not talking about that case specifically, but in a DUI, I'm always curious how you defend a DUI when the person either blew a certain level or had a blood test, and it's there in black and white that they were probably over the limit. How do you defend them?
Okay, so this is actually the question for any criminal defense attorney, really, if you think about it. And we do get it a lot, and I'm going to let you be the judge, and you tell me if it comes across genuine, okay? I'm a strong believer in our legal system, okay? Our legal system says you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the district attorney. It is their job to use any tools that are available to them to prove that that person's guilty.
Right.
And you have on the other side an attorney trying to prove that they're innocent, or a lot of times, well, like you said, if they've been drinking, they've been drinking. Along the line of the process, did they make a mistake? Did the police make a mistake? Did the district attorney maybe file the wrong charges? So a lot of times I'm not, especially myself, I don't go at it saying this person did it, I'm going to find a way to find them innocent. I say if they did it or didn't do it, it almost doesn't matter. My job is to make sure that the process is followed. And if in that process a mistake was made, even if a guilty person was found innocent, it secures our process. That's our legal system. We're going to protect everybody as though they're innocent unless they're proven guilty. And so I really strongly believe in that process, and that's how I explain it to my clients. It's my job to make sure the process is followed.
This is the guy who said he didn't like to talk.
You're
going to do fine on your show, I can tell you
already. Did that make sense to you, though?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely, it did. It did. I mean, everybody deserves to have an attorney, an attorney who's going to look to make sure that everything was followed to the letter of the law, right?
And I've had clients, I can think of one in L.A. It was he was looking at 84 years in prison.
84
years. It was multiple counts of...
So a life sentence, basically.
Basically. He was like 31, 32. And he wanted to declare himself guilty and get whatever. And I said, look, I still have to do my job. Even if you're ready to turn yourself in, I want to do my job to make sure that the punishment fits the crime. That if they're charging you with, 60 counts, that each of those counts are justified. He ended up getting 5 years, even though right off the bat he wanted to do it. But it wasn't because he was or wasn't guilty. It was were the proper charges filed and what was merited, what was the right punishment at that point.
So by having a good lawyer, he went from possibly 80 years to only a 5-year sentence. This is the guy you
Serious
want to call.
Stuff, huh?
Okay. What's the name of your office here in Fresno? How can folks reach you?
I operate under PulidoLawGroup.com. I'm down the street right here on Van Ness between Belmont and Olive. I believe my number is on there.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect. 283-8909. Free consultations. I do immigration, bankruptcy. I know you do talk business. Maybe another time we'll come back and talk about bankruptcy. That's
good.
Still a very good option for a lot of people facing financial difficulty.
Okay. And again, Reynaldo's new show will premiere on Central Valley Talk in Nuestra Valle Central.
Very good.
Did I pronounce that right?
You're going to practice Spanish so you can come to my show?
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Another fascinating local business person here on CentralValleyTalk.com.